All right, good morning, everyone. We're so excited to have this as our first live show called What the Hell Does That Mean? I pretty much say it on a daily basis, so we might as well apply it to law because I think everyone sits here going, what the hell does that mean? So I'm here with my co-host, Sarah Geltz of the Kendrick Law Group, and we are so honored and privileged to have Charlotte Erdmann on our show today of Orlando Tax Law. Did I butcher that? I might have butchered it. But Orlando Tax Law, and she really is our go-to for anything tax. And nowadays, with us having such a tax reform coming down, and what the hell does that mean? We have no idea. We're going to talk to her and try to figure out the pros and cons of kind of how this applies to small to medium-sized businesses and how we move forward. So, first off, though, I just have to mention she's pregnant, obviously. And while I was pregnant, the very first place I went was Chick-fil-A. She's in CrossFit. She was doing speed skating until third trimester. And as of last week, deadlifted 150 pounds. I can't even do that now. So
I saw photographic proof of this.
There's proof. So we pretty much, I might be stalking her on Facebook. And I'm just overly impressed with her. And so we just have a little bit of a gift to give you.
Oh, thank you.
So we're going to introduce you to this store. It's going to become a problem.
Maison Baby is pretty much the best store in Orlando for baby gifts.
Yeah, no, that's
The Shusher,
baby
you want,
Shusher.
yeah,
All parents need one.
need
and
one.
baby broccoli.
Yes.
And pretty much since she's athletic, and I think the baby's gonna be eating broccoli,
Yeah.
you need that. And then this onesie, we would like pictures of it,
Yes.
Definitely.
and
Oh, yes.
so chunk in this, eating the broccoli.
You need hobbies when you practice tax law.
You'll have a new hobby because pretty much all you're gonna do is take 50,000 photos of your child
And post it.
and post it, and then you'll forget you're a lawyer because
Right.
that's pretty much all we do.
You've seen my Facebook. Ben's page.
So
Awesome.
let's get down to the nitty gritty of tax law. We have this big tax reform.
Huge.
It came down, and I'm pretty sure everyone right away went and started reading the reform. No.
I did.
Okay, she did. Hence why she's on our show. But kind of tell me overall, like, what's the effect of this? Is it good? Is it bad? Tell me about it.
Well, it depends on who you talk to, of course, but because it's been highly politicized. But there's good and there's bad. I think our focus is more small and medium businesses in terms of what we're talking about, and generally it's pretty good for the small and medium business owner and the businesses. There's going to be a decrease in taxes. That means more money to reinvest in hiring people, wages, buying stuff, expanding. So it's generally a good thing.
Well, I think that's great. I'm excited.
So the question that we see a lot from small, medium businesses is, do they need to be changing their corporate structure or their business, the way they're set up? So we've heard that for weeks already. And
Right, and a lot of that comes from the top corporate rate being from 35 to 21%, and everyone's like, well, that's a lower rate than my individual rate. Oh my gosh, I should switch over. And that's not necessarily the case at all, because a C Corp is taxed at that level before there's a distribution to the business owner. So with a pass-through, which is like most small and medium businesses are, they don't pay at the corporate level. So if you're a normal pass-through, if you're a sole proprietor or an LLC or an S-Corp, just keep doing your thing, for now. If you're a partnership and file a 1065, you're going to want to talk to an attorney, but that's under a new regime that's coming from an old law. They're changing how the audit system is working. So if you have that issue, definitely talk to your attorney.
So pretty much you're saying, so I understand this and everyone out there understands it, is if you're a C Corp, you're paying twice. Everyone's seeing this 21% and right away going, that's a better tax rate than 30%. But if I stay and I'm a 30% tax rate and I'm a pass-through, I'm paying 30%.
Right.
If I'm a corporation, how is that paying?
Well, then you'd be paying 21% plus whatever your individual rate is once you get a distribution. So if your top rate is now 37% and you're a very successful business owner, any income over $600,000 is going to be also taxed at 37%.
Okay, so your business is paying, you're taking your distribution, and then you're
So you would
paying
be
on
paying
top of that.
21% plus your
Whatever you pay.
37%, which is a lot more than just paying your 37%.
Okay. Well, so it seems like at least for right now, unless anything comes down, stay as you are unless you're a partnership,
Right,
is what you're
and
saying.
keep in
And
mind,
let
yeah.
people review it.
Yeah, and we have like 185 pages of new statutes, but we don't have any of the regulations yet. We don't know what the tax forms are going to look like. The system has kind of been touted as a simplification of the tax code. It isn't. For pass-throughs, it's kind of been a lot more complicated. So
Are there any professional exemptions that impact?
Yeah, so, when they reduced the corporate tax rate for C Corps, they had to try and do something similar for those other pass-through organizations. So they came up with this 20% qualified business deduction. That qualified business deduction phases out for professional service businesses. So things like doctors and lawyers and accountants and that kind of thing. It's still probably better than being a C Corp, but you'll want to talk to your accountant about how that works and what qualified business income is, how that's calculated. It's kind of akin to a normal business distribution.
So they're kind of hating on the lawyers at this point.
They're kind of hating on the lawyers.
Hey, shocker.
That's okay.
So, what does this mean? Do you think this means businesses have more money? And how does that impact our economy? Like, why did they do this?
I think it depends on who you ask.
Right.
But they
Why-
Politics.
without being
Why do
political
you
about
think
it,
they did this?
I think they did it to stimulate business. If there's more money for the business and if they're paying less taxes, then you have much more money that you can reinvest. You can get more employees. You can pay your employees more. You can also pocket more money at the end of the day and not expand your business at all. But most people, who are entrepreneurs, they want to grow. They want to give back. They want to get their product or services out and expand their reach. So, for those individuals, it's a good thing.
So is it, I've read so many things and I know you're going to be like, oh, great. But, so I've read all these articles and they said kind of a generic is most people are going to see about a 4% more money in their pocket. Generically. True or false? Or misleading?
It's probably misleading because when we're talking about pass-throughs, it also depends on what an individual's circumstance is. The house they live in. Do they rent? Do they own? Do they have kids? Do they not have kids? What state do they live in? So all of those things are going to impact a business owner's tax situation.
So all of those changed as well?
Right. I mean, you don't, tax law doesn't live in a vacuum, and when the new law passed, it affected everything, and so it's kind of been this holistic change that you have to look at holistically. People are getting all uppity about, oh my gosh, this deduction is gone, or they eliminated the personal exemption, or whatever, and it's like, but what did they do to compensate that, or what did they take away, or how does it relate to the other provisions? So it's yeah.
Which
So
is
exactly why we
say,
have a tax expert.
Charlotte, when somebody says tax this, call Charlotte.
So I'm sure you've had a lot of clients. We've had a lot of clients and friends and family asking us, what should we do next? I mean, truly, I feel like the best thing for them to do if they
call you.
feel there's implications that could come down from this and or they want to know is to sit down with you. And you can kind of look at their ideas, sit down with their accountant, however they need to really, a combination of the two,
Right.
but really some experts in the area.
Probably do it before March 18th.
Right. The recommendation is definitely, especially now, before we live in a TurboTax type of society where we go and we click a few things and we think our return is done. Now more than ever, it's going to be really important to get a qualified, accountant or a CPA, especially if you're a business owner. For people who aren't business owners, they can probably TurboTax or H&R Block just fine. But for the people who are business owners, it is getting a lot more complicated, and they are going to need that assistance.
And so did you time the pregnancy so you don't have to deal with it a month before tax season starts? Because you'll be on vacation.
It's timing. Yeah, timing.
Her baby will know tax reform better than all of us, probably. But we just really
miserable. Yeah,
I know.
a physicist.
yeah. It'll put him to sleep, hopefully. But we really appreciate all of this. I think it's informative. I feel better. I think all of us can say that if we really need help, reach out. Reach out to your attorney, reach out to your business attorney, reach out to your tax attorney, reach out to your accountant, reach out to someone that knows this area. And, if you have questions, ask us. We're happy to help or at least direct you in the same, in the right spot. But, this is our go-to for tax. We are so honored to have you on our first inaugural show. And I actually understood it. So I really appreciate everyone, and we look forward to seeing you next month.
Thanks.